What do Mary Blair, Groot, and Hidden Mickeys all have in common? You might have thought nothing, and up until about 2 weeks ago, you'd be absolutely right. But now, Tokyo Disneyland has a new Small World overlay called It's a Small World with Groot, which plays on Joey Cho's way of drawing, the Marvel characters, and the concept of a hidden Mickey, all by putting Groot in places he doesn't belong on the ride. And I didn't care less. I saw the merch announcement, some of the art, I was like, okay, that's weird, but okay, I don't care. And I was literally apathetic, and that's saying a lot considering, as you all know, this is my favourite ride and I've done quite a few videos on it. So it might just be the fact that I've never experienced the ride in Tokyo or Hong Kong or anything, and I don't know much about Marvel. I've seen a couple of the movies, but keep that in mind, I don't know a lot about it. So I just didn't care. I was like, okay, that's fine. I genuinely just didn't care, so I kept seeing people complaining about how it didn't fit, the overlay. And at first I was honestly inclined to agree, how the heck do Marvel characters fit in a Disney ride It's a Small World? It just doesn't make sense. But then I came to an answer. Through a clever change in perspective, it fits really well. I want to kind of introduce this idea to you that this is actually really smart, and it allows for a really interesting discussion about where we stand with equality in relation to the ride, and also the opportunities it opens up for artists, writers, anyone, and how that feeds into the inclusivity that It's a Small World promotes. Part 1. What is It's a Small World with Groot? To start with, I might as well define what we're working with, right? So basically, this is an overlay that runs in Tokyo Disneyland from January to June of this year, 2025, which, speaking of which, how has it been half a decade since the pandemic? What? It keeps blowing my mind, but anyway. It features Marvel characters placed throughout the ride, stylistically, with the art style of Joey Cho, and also by melding them with the Small World dolls in certain cases. The art style on the postcards and stuff is Joey Cho's art, and then the actual dolls and such are based on the Small World dolls and how they look. So, sounds weird, right? Not bad, just not inherently bad anyway, just kind of odd. But actually, with a bit of further research, according to the Disney Wiki, this is the first time Marvel characters will be included in an attraction in Tokyo Disneyland, which is actually an opportunity for them to market them in a very unique way. So, considering how beloved It's a Small World is, because they had so much merch in the past few years, the popcorn bucket, the pillow, both of which I own actually, these different types of merchandising, all of this proves just how popular the ride is, and obviously it's a really good attraction for the job of introducing characters for that reason, because it's scenes, you get intrigued. So by adding in Marvel characters, the public will be more inclined to learn more about them, discover who they are for the very first time, and in a really unique way, which I think is really cool. It's an odd choice, but it's one that I think opens up the door to a really cool way of learning more about characters. Part 2. My personal thoughts on the overlay. So as I previously said, I felt really apathetic towards this ride overlay, but then I usually feel a bit apathetic toward overlays since I'm not usually there, the exception being Haunted Mansion Holiday, because I was actually there for that one and I really liked it. But then I've never seen the original Haunted Mansion in California because of that. For example, when I was younger, I actually got to experience Paris's version of Holiday as a kid, so that's another exception, I guess. But I've experienced the original ride before that, so it didn't take away from anything. Whereas I've never experienced Holiday in California, and I was very, very lucky when I visited in 2022, because I got on the original Small World right before it closed for Holiday refurb. It was maximum 3 days before it closed, because by the time I was basically in Disneyland for 2 days, then I went on a cruise for 4 days, then I came back for the final day, and by that final day, it was done for Holiday, and it had construction walls up. It was down. I was like, wow, that's crazy, So, yeah. Yesterday, though, I actually watched a video of the new Haunted Mansion overlay. Well, I don't call it overlay, I should call it refurb, sorry, wrong term. I really like it, though. I have no clue why it's being called Woke Mansion, because they enhanced the ghost house scene, which we were all worried they'd take out. But no, they made it way better. You can see the body way better, and it looks really good. And then I think the bride being returned to her somber state is quite interesting. I like Constance, but she's in Walt Disney World, so now every version around the world kind of has their own bride, which I think is quite cool. Like how every version of It's a Small World has a different art style. I think that's a cool thing to do. So I guess Disney fans just won't be satisfied though. I can't appease them, and I did a video on Disney adults and the problems with the community if you want to watch that. So anyway, I was watching that video, and the next video up was It's a Small World with Groot, because I haven't seen it yet, and I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's just watch it. I'm bored. It's really late at night, and I need something to watch before I go to sleep. And then I really liked it. This isn't me exaggerating as well, but like I had to look to find some of those Groot figures. Like there was some I actually didn't spot, and I've heard people complaining about the Hulk statue. Dude, I didn't even see it. Like, it blended into the background completely. It's not obvious to me. And so that's a testament to how well they did it, that I struggled to spot things. Like, okay, the India scene, it's quite obvious where Groot is. And the Italian boat. But I didn't see him with the geese, for example. Like, I missed that. It's like, I didn't spot him in every single scene. You know, it's a testament to how subtly and how well they've done it, and I'm really, really impressed with them, because when I saw the figures, you know, when they were being produced and they had the behind-the-scenes content, I was like, how are they going to hide these? These are the most, like, obvious things ever. But no, they're not. They blend really well, which is really clever. So, yeah, I also think the merchandise is really cute. It's probably me liking Joey Cho's art style, because I don't get the critique that his art looks babyish. Like, I did a style study recently of a bunch of different It's a Small World styles, and if you put him next to Mary Blair, their styles are almost the same. Like, I've drawn both of their styles, apart from like eyebrows and the way he draws noses, maybe. Like, their styles are almost one-to-one, so I don't see the critique of his art being called babyish and hers not being, because they are very similar, like, ultimately, you know? I kind of find that critique a bit dumb. So yeah, I like the merch. I don't know if I'll be getting any because proxy shipping takes forever, but I really like the little plushies of him in the different outfits. It's so cute. I'm like, I want to hold him. I also personally didn't find the music choices odd. Like, I've heard someone joking about the trap remix of It's a Small World. I kind of didn't notice them when I was listening, and you know, that's as someone who listens to the soundtrack all the time. It didn't bother me. Like, I was just like, okay, this is cool music, cool vibe. I'm more looking at all the dolls and all the sets. So, like, it was subtle to me. Like, I think a lot of it is subtle, but you notice it maybe a couple times. If you're a purist or whatever, you notice it more. But for me, as someone who doesn't go that often, it's just like, oh, this is cool, I like this. So my verdict, personally, you don't have to agree, but please don't be rude. The overlay, I think, is subtly, it's very clever with how they did it, and I really liked it, so that's my thoughts. And now on to kind of my main point about equality. Part 3. How it encourages equality in a really unique way. Now on to my main point. So, how does this little plant-looking creature have anything to do with equality? Well, I think at face value it doesn't. And to many it would appear as just another corporate move to try and add an IP where it doesn't belong. But I'm going to ask you to open your mind a bit and see this as more of an opportunity for inclusivity. Because the way I think about it is, if you think about the value of It's Small World, which is that, like, friendship transgresses all borders, this plant-looking creature should belong, because that's what the ride's all about. It's about inclusivity. So, no matter the art style it uses, the creatures that appear, like, there's I think a Loch Ness monster in the opening, geese that sing, like, they was already suspended disbelief, right? Like, I don't think a little space green creature should not be allowed to be part of it, because that's the point. We're all meant to be allowed to be part of the ride. And we've also seen that they're adding new ways of inclusivity too, like the wheelchair dolls, which I think are really tastefully done. So I think the inclusion of this little space gremlin opens the floor for anyone to find a part of themselves in this attraction. Like, if you think about it, whether it be your OCs, yourself, your favourite characters, there's now room for everyone. Like, there was already, because they added the Disney characters. But this reinforces the idea that anyone can, like, be part of this ride now. No matter who they are, if they come from space, or if they come from Earth, or if they come from a completely other world. Like, everyone's allowed to be a part of it, which I think is so cool. Like, for example, it's really fun to imagine someone like Asha from Wish interacting with the flamenco dancers because she's Hispanic. Or, you know, like, I don't know, imagine Sophia the First, like, hanging out in, I don't know, like one of the sections, maybe in the finale. Like, imagine the opportunities you can create. Like, you could make an OC, you could have them turn into a Small World doll for a day and hide in some of the sets like Groot does, like trying to blend in before they're turned back. Like, it's just so fun to imagine, and it invites this like creativity and heart that artists and designers all have, and that's what built It's a Small World. It was that creativity and heart. So I just think, like, if Groot can become a toy soldier, like, why can't you? You know? Self-interpretation's beautiful. It's a great way to have adventures and showcase your creativity. So, if you've ever wanted to shrink down to the size of an It's a Small World doll, Groot shows that Disney is absolutely fine with Marvel characters doing it, so why can't you? You know? And that's why I think the Groot overlay is actually a really cool idea, because it's in line with the values of the original ride, but it's also subtle enough that someone who didn't know about it might miss it. And it's also a really fun take on an attraction that has already added recent updates to be more inclusive, which proves that it really is a small, small world. Thank you for watching. Bye!